Good day, folks. Thank you so much for joining us today for another session. Today we have with us Wasif bin Saeed in a very specialized industry, and he'll talk to us more about that. So let's get started. Thank you, Wasif, for joining us today. So can you get started by telling us a little bit about yourself first?
Yeah, so I graduated from GIK from like a decade ago, and I started my career with oil and gas EPC in UAE, and then I managed to switch over to railways. So I was working with Etihad Rail as a system signal engineer prior to moving to Canada. So basically, currently in Canada, I'm working with Alstom as onboard TNC engineer. I'm working on the TTC Line 1 expansion project.
Interesting. So your industry is a very specialized industry. And when you landed into Canada, did you have a job before you came here, or did you apply for it afterwards?
Actually, I managed to secure a job before landing in Canada. As you said, this is a very specialized industry, and since Canada is investing heavily in transportation projects, so I was lucky to find a job. Apart from that, yes, I had to work it out over LinkedIn. So LinkedIn was primarily, I would say, LinkedIn is the reason why I got the job.
Interesting enough. And with that being said, what is the nature of your work exactly? What is a typical day that entails for you?
So basically, as I mentioned before, the current DTC subway system, if anyone has seen, is undergoing enhancement. So what we are doing right now, in a nutshell, is basically having automated trains instead of instead of them driven manually. So what we have to do basically is we have to test the trains, that if they have been driven by the computer, and we have different scenarios, and we have to go through them, and we have to ensure that the safety of the passenger and everyone else is paramount.
Interesting. So in terms of work culture that you saw in Dubai, you mentioned Dubai, right? So as with Dubai and with Canada, how do you compare the two?
I think there's a lot of difference. Anyone who's been from UAE would say that yes, you have more diverse culture there. You have more people from different backgrounds, but at the same time, I would say that you are limited to certain positions. Okay, that might be my own opinion, but I felt that there are certain positions which you cannot attain due to your geographical background or whatever it may be. But over here, I believe that factor is not there, and so I find the Canadian market to be a bit more even.
Mm-hmm. Interesting enough. In terms of advice regarding resume building or for applying for positions, or for any generic advice that you would like to give to individuals moving to Canada, what would that be?
I think I've spoken to a lot of people, and I've come across a conclusion that a lot of people take LinkedIn pretty lightly. So I managed to secure a job from LinkedIn, so I would say definitely it works. The idea is that you need to know exactly how to utilize that platform. So just a bit of a detail would be what I applied is that basically I went on making connections relevant to my job back when I was in UAE. So I had my PR, and what I did is basically I sought out different people, and that's how I found my current line manager. He was actually part of this Alstom project. So that's he reached out. I reached out to him, and then that's how I forwarded my CV to him, and then this is how things started. So basically, you need to find the right people, and what people usually do is they tend to go into HRs and find people, recruiters, and stuff like that. That doesn't really help, because just to say that over here, like working on automated trains, I don't have a background in automated trains. I do have a background with signaling systems and railways, but not automated trains. So if I were to give it to a simple recruiter, he might reject my CV based on that thing. But because I had similar experience and I had a direct interview with the technical manager, he understood what my background entails. So basically that helped me a lot. So I would advise everyone that you need to find the right person, and you need to connect to the right person, and then you need to make sure that right person gets your CV.
Earlier in our conversation, you were mentioning about LinkedIn Premium. So do you think sometimes it's a bit of an investment? So do you think that's a worthwhile investment?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think LinkedIn Premium, basically the idea of LinkedIn Premium is not that you get to start messaging everyone or something. But there are two things. One is like it helps you with your resume. At least you can find the relevant people who are doing the job that you want to seek, and you can tailor your resume according to their what their details and etc. And the biggest thing, I think, what I've just mentioned before is you can find your hiring manager on LinkedIn. So you don't have to go to a recruiter or HR or someone. You can get to him. All you need to do is you need to pitch yourself right, and then you need to sort of get into conversation with him. Try to, I mean, you don't have to sound desperate or something, but yes, you need to understand what is their requirement and what you can offer. And then basically when both of you come to a sort of an understanding, and that's when you can find success.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Wasif. Any closing remarks that you'd like to add?
Yeah, I think I would say definitely I was one of the few lucky ones who managed to find job very quickly in Canada. I understand this is difficult for everyone, but you don't have to lose hope. And I think, you know, if you're in Canada, then you got to struggle and you're going to find your place.
Thank you so much for your time today, and we hope we'll share your LinkedIn. If there's anybody out there who needs any piece of advice from you, I hope they can reach out to you.
Yeah, they can search me on Wasif Saeed on LinkedIn, and yeah, they can reach out to me.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sean.